Hello everyone, welcome to the 196th Spiritual Brainstorm episode. And this episode, just a very short reflection I had on the myth of Narcissus. So Narcissus is this myth of a person that has fallen in love with who he is, his appearance, his outward appearance. And to punish him for his arrogance, the gods caused him to fall in love with his own reflection, a pool of water. And eventually, either there's a story where he dies, or some other stories is he has to stare at his reflection until he withers away by the water's edge. And I just wanted to reflect on this myth, which I believe is not really fully understood. So the superficial kind of explanation is that it's a critique of being overly attached to outward appearances, such as your physical, beauty. But I think there's a much more profound interpretation to this myth. It is that true self-love cannot be love through the reflection that others project onto yourself. And so the real reflection isn't really the pool of water. And the punishment is that you fall in love with the image that you project, that other people project back to you. Meaning, true self-love is not conditional upon other people finding you lovable or not, or loving person. And so you don't seek validation for having an objective reason to love yourself because others send you a positive reflection of who you are. So typically, for instance, you have people that are beautiful. There's one thought experiment you could have is, would they still be in love with themselves if they were alone on a desert island and no one was there to send them to make them to send them sort of a reflection of how beautiful they are? That is, nobody there to stare at them when they pass in the street. Nobody there to say, wow, you're beautiful. And that's the real test, quote unquote, because then the perverse narcissistic kind of behavior is when you fall in love with what image other people project back to you of who you are. And so it can be anything. It's not just physical beauty in this sense. Physical beauty is just the superficial interpretation of a narcissism myth. But for instance, somebody that is very dependable, or any kind of positive trait that you may have, and that other people, project back onto you because they always compliment you, you can fall in love with that image that other people have, and then it acts as a kind of bind or a prison where now you cannot escape it. Now you have to live up to the image that other people have projected onto you. And this is typical for beauty, like, for instance, people that are super beautiful and that live in the spotlight. It can sometimes be very difficult to transition out of that spotlight once, nature does its thing and you start aging and you're not as beautiful anymore. Because you've grown attached. It wasn't true self-love. It was love that you had for yourself, but via others going back to you. And so this punishment that gods had for Narcissus is a punishment that you self-inflict every time you depend on the positive image that others project back towards you. In your life, basically. And it can be anything. It can be the fact that you are very smart, or the fact that you are very, strong, or anything. Just anything that, you try to seek that validation continuously. And so, I think that basically here, there's no God's punishing anyone. It's just a kind of a warning to go beyond a very superficial self-love to a more profound self-love where you're capable of loving yourself without having to go through another person's admiration for one of your qualities to say, oh, this is something that I can now love about myself because somebody else has recognized that I have this quality in me. And so again, it's this thought experiment of being alone on a desert island, and you don't see any humans for years and years and years, and then nobody is there to actually compliment you or tell you if you're strong, if you're beautiful, if you're smart. Are you capable of having that kind of self-love towards yourself without having to go through the outside in order to come back to you? And so, yeah, I think this is a very profound kind of lesson here. Hope you found this interesting. So don't hesitate to leave a comment, share, subscribe, the usual, and talk to you in the next episode. Bye, guys.